Happy Friday, everybody. Friendly Friday. Shout out to our everybody's favorite person, Bree, for making the background for us today. It's great to have you. You'll notice a different look. TikTok Studio did some updates this morning, or maybe yesterday. I don't know, but I had to basically redo everything, and we think we figured out a solution to the comments looking like shit when we have guests. So I promise you that I tried. I don't promise you that it'll work. There's no way to really test it, so we'll find out today if it works. But that's the story of the day, and the story behind this background here is Donald Trump won Person of the Year. I believe for the second time. Time Magazine said you are the Person of the Year, Donald. Second time. I want to be clear though what that actually means. Time Magazine Person of the Year is not person who we most respect, person who we think is great, person who we think is is doing good. Time Magazine Person of the Year is the person who is most influential, maybe most polarizing, spent maybe the most time in the news. So for a guy who was found civilly liable for 2 crimes and criminally liable for another, and then ran an insane campaign and then won the presidency, it makes sense. I think this was the right decision. I don't think it's bizarre. I think it's exactly right. But the reason that those other people are up there, that is Schmittler, that is Stalin, and that is Richard Nixon's cover, all of them have been the Time Magazine Person of the Year. So, just so you can see, like it's really. And by the way, Nixon, that one with the headlines, he was Person of the Year in '72. That's when Watergate happened. Was 1972. So he was Person of the Year while he was going through Watergate. And obviously, he was guilty of what happened on Watergate. So before you let those Republicans get you down about Trump winning Time Magazine of the Year, just you maybe screenshot this. You can just let them know it's not always the best people. It's not. Just news. That's right. We have a lot to cover today, and we'll get to that momentarily. But first of all, just want to remind you, off to my my right, and right on the, or I guess right on the screen, you'll see the Cash App and the Venmo. And if you'd like me to read any message, we will. Oh shit, we will happily do that. I also forgot to put up the goal. That's not it. I'm gonna have to make a new text for the goal, I think. Let's see. Yeah, I gotta make a new text for the goal. That's on me. That's 100% on me. Let me do this real quick. And this won't take as long as you think it's gonna take. I'm getting real good at this. And then I got to use Jen's favorite font because we do things Jen's way. And there we go. That's not the right font, but that's going to be okay. And then I'm going to move the son of a gun. That is hard to see. Goal. We're going to make it right. There it goes. And now I got to move that one over here too. 1 second. Sorry, everybody. This has got to be the most boring thing possible for you. Make it over here. There we go. And bingo, bango, bongo. So however you're watching it, whether you're watching it in portrait mode or landscape, you should be able to see it now. Should be all done. Thank you. Thank you. Discord. What am I checking with Discord? Why am I checking Discord? Jen says there isn't a guest request button. Well, that's not good. Oh, if I do it in dual layout, can I change it? Let's see. Let's see if I can change this. Oh, I can't change it. You can't turn it on when you're using TikTok Studio. Well, shit, we'll have to restart. All right, guys, I'll be back in a sec. Not nice. It did take a long time. It's pretty cool. Hopefully the mic's working. All the work I did this morning, the reason I was late, I had to undo all of that and build a whole new not outline, a whole new, what do we even call this? A scene. I had to build a whole new scene. So sorry about that. Sorry for the late start. I'll try and go a little bit later today. We'll try and make that happen. Anyways, we're back. Let me find the outline. I don't know where that even went. It's friendly Friday. Happy to have you guys here. I'll do it one more time. Our gift goal there is on the side. I need to update that. I don't know why. I put in the wrong gift goal. There's the Venmo and the Cash App next to me. If you want to send a donation, I'll read any message. And while we were waiting, we did have a couple come through. So give me 1 second. Let me pull those up. I apologize. I think this is what you should expect from people out of Fridays, though. Katrina says for RTP, cum gummy for life. No, don't look that up. Nobody look that up. Wasn't me says, I give up. I am now. Burn this fucker down. Damn. We're getting serious this morning. There's a lot of people, I think, with that I did. Well, sorry, I was just surprised. Ryan, thank you so much. It's incredibly kind. Ashley says a guy walks into a bar and orders 6 beers. Crap, forgot the rest. But the punchline is, I got $1. Cameron says, one thing for sure, you can request my guest button anytime. Box is wide open. Friendlies only. Come give it a try. Thank you. I can't see the request button, Cameron. I apologize. And Renee says to upgrade your 28.k dial-up modem and to buy more minutes. Thank you. Is it choppy? I got good internet. I've got a good computer. And this is a first ever. Whoops. That was the wrong one. This is the first time this has ever happened. But our gift goal is complete. So thank you. Thank you very much, Ryan. Appreciate that. Knocked out the gift goal virtually by himself. There we are. Gift goal's complete. I don't even have to talk about that the rest of the time. You're still welcome to send messages, and I will happily read all of them. But thank you, Ryan. W. Ryan. We got guests already. Matt A. I think. There we go. Matt A. What's
Hello.
up, Matt? Hey.
Hey, is it true the Democrats want to put penises on women? Is that true?
What do you think?
I don't know. I've been hearing a lot about it.
You must be hearing from a lot of dumb people.
No, like a lot of trans, like they want to put.
You're just like a bigot. Is that what this is?
How?
Is this
explain,
like honestly? Is this how you're trying to get a laugh today?
I mean, if you can explain how I'm a bigot.
I'm just asking.
May I not ask a question, bud?
I'm asking you a question, bud. What's the point of
Right,
this?
what's your question, bud?
You know that it's not true. You just want to be transphobic, right?
What? I really don't understand. How is it not true?
Swing and a miss, bud. Swing and a miss. Go find somewhere else. We're not dealing with people like that anymore. No, he didn't run. I got rid of him. I'm not interested in that conversation whatsoever. It's not a legitimate conversation. If somebody wants to talk about legislation, fine, but I'm not doing that shit anymore. I'm not like those people need to go back to Reddit. That's where they should be. Those people shouldn't be platformed. If they want to have a real discussion, get real answers, fine. Until then, I would highly recommend anybody coming up like that, embarrass them and then kick them immediately. The problem, I think, sometimes is that we, especially in the last election, is we gave too much time to those people. And they're just not serious people. And they just want to get you in a situation where you're defending something that sounds absurd to the normal, everyday, doesn't follow politics person. So sorry, Matt. Sorry. Have a good day, though. I need to go to YouTube to catch up. We just started, Ashwa. You just got here, so you're fine. There's no YouTube to catch up to, but we are live on YouTube, and the replay of this will be on YouTube, so make sure that you are subscribed over there, and you can watch the replays anytime. I want to start things off with a clip that last week on Instagram, I had made a video about Bryce Mitchell. He's a UFC fighter, and I made this video. He was on Tucker Carlson, and he was talking about a fight that he was about to take place, and he was like, it was a bizarre thing. He's like, I'm going to fight for my family. I'm going to fight for my freedom. And I know that God will make me prevail. And it was just like this real, and then he got knocked out brutally. He fought this weekend. Bryce Mitchell, I think, is from Louisiana, if I remember correctly. Staunch Donald Trump supporter, staunch flat earther. And he's very mad at Elon Musk. And I'll just say this. Bryce Mitchell has really absurd opinions, and he relies heavily on apparently like Reddit for his opinions. But this is a man of principle. He will not stand by and let a glober like Elon Musk be admitted into the Donald Trump administration.
Time will prove me correct. Time will always reveal someone's true character, and if you put that man in a position of power, his true character will be revealed. And let's just put it this way. He has all the money in this country. He's the wealthiest man in the country, and he wasted on rockets, man. Think about it, dude. He could actually help people with that money, but he don't give a about you. He's got all the money in the world to help you. It'd be a penny to him, and you would never have to work again. He don't give a about you, though. He wants to waste it on rockets and waste it on all these cars that suck. And time will reveal the character of that man. And the more he gets under the spotlight, you can't fake it forever. His character will be revealed, and you mark my words, it will be seen that he is a rat and you know, if I had all that money, I would like to think I would help people more than he does. I think that...
Shout out Bryce Mitchell. Like 70%. We can agree with... It turns out we might have something in common with flat earthers. Maybe we co-opt the flat earthers. Just bring them into the fold. Because they hate this. I loved every second of Bryce Mitchell saying that. And again, this is somebody whose job is to get punched in the face. So I maybe not like a thought leader, but I liked 70% of that. It's like I don't like him, but I do. Look, the thing about Bryce Mitchell and there's other people like this too. Like there's conservatives that I absolutely love. He's one of them because I know that it's principled. It might be dumb. It's strange to me. It might be anti-scientific. But it's seriously who they are, and he stands on those principles. He doesn't just wait for somebody else to tell him what his principles are, which I think is a real problem. I think that it's a real problem consistently with Maga, and that it's this top-down approach. We tell you, you repeat it, and just keep taking your orders. I think that there's a lot of people that aren't happy with Elon Musk being involved, and I do think that populists, a lot of the Trump voters, I don't think they like what's going on here. I've got more stories today of just this incoming Trump administration and the people in Congress not doing anything for the people. It is like a coronation. It is very reminiscent of North Korea in the way that they are treating dear leader. Any rift I support. I like that, Benny. Yeah, let's further the divide. Let's do it. Divide and conquer. I hate when I do that. On a more serious note, I got a phone call last night from AOC, good friend of the show, friend of the country, friend of all of us, and she just said, "Hey, I've been quiet too long about this shooting. Could you write something for me?" So I just wrote this for AOC, and I'm going to share it with you guys. But this was all me.
Who is, I think, shocked or surprised at the scale in which this incident has really gripped a lot of the public consciousness and imagination. I think people need to really understand how much everyday people are living with eroded health or know someone who died or passed away, and in their most vulnerable moments had either their lives destroyed from a devastating healthcare diagnosis that completely upended their financial life, or know someone whose life was in fact taken from a diagnosis. And I think that this collective American experience, which is so twisted to have in the wealthiest nation in the world, all of that pain that people have experienced is being concentrated on this event. And
Fucking mute. Damn it. Sorry. AOC is brilliant. All I was saying is AOC is brilliant, and I didn't really write it. And I think that she crystallized it right there when she said this.
all of that pain that people have experienced is being concentrated on this event. And
That's the part I thought was, I haven't heard anybody articulate it quite like that. And that's really what it is. It's our collective pain, all being brought to the forefront because of this event. So for many people, this event just brings totally different feelings. I don't know if you've ever lost somebody that you had a contentious relationship with, but you had like a long-term relationship, whether it's a family member or a friend, whatever, and you lose them, but it's a weird moment, right? Like you remember the good times, but you also remember the pain. And so these moments are very polarizing for different reasons for everybody. But I think AOC correctly just pointed out, like, it's not that people really want to, like, people don't want to celebrate death. They just want to look at this moment and say, hey, can we not focus on just like one person? I was thinking about this last night. What do you think? Do you think we'd have this conversation if instead of the CEO, it was just somebody who worked at one of their call centers? No, we wouldn't be having this conversation. It wouldn't work. So I think that the people that are capitalizing on this are doing it for good reasons, and I think just reasons. And I love that we're still talking about it 3 days later. What's up, Jen?
Okay. Check my message in Discord. And then also I want to remind everybody that we are streaming this over to YouTube. And if you guys would like an invite to the Discord, please send any moderator message and we'll get you a link. And I just want to say W Ryan for his donation.
Yeah,
So,
thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it. All right, I saw your message. Thank you. Boston, look, brother, we'll say it. Boston, who is in the guest request, is Tex45. I will say this, oh, thank you guys for the subscribing. Wow. Oh, I needed to update that goal too. Sorry. I needed to keep that goal on. Tex is here. Tex sent me a long apology yesterday. And Tex, I accept your apology. However, I do think that there's enough damage done that you probably need to earn the trust of the audience first before me. And I'm not comfortable just that quickly turning this back over. But you're welcome to be here, and hopefully we can ease you back in. But there's a lot of people here that were offended and hurt by some of the things that you said. So I appreciate the apology, but you probably have a little ways to go. And today's just not the day. But I'll respond to your DM. I forgot to last night. I apologize for that. And we'll get there. Let me look at this. Let me look at the. Yep. Oh, and our noises are back now. How did our noises get back? How in the world did that happen? That's amazing. Let me get this so we can. I want to be able to track the subscriptions so I know that we're doing them. There we go. Oh, they have to review the goal. That's crazy. All right. W me for somehow figuring out getting the sounds back on. Let's finish the AOC here.
And it's really important that we take a step back. This is not to comment, and this is not to say that an act of violence is justified. But I think for anyone who is confused or shocked or appalled, they need to understand that people interpret and feel and experience denied claims as an act of violence against them. People go homeless over the financial devastation of a diagnosis that doesn't get addressed, or the amount that they're going to have to cover with a surprise bill and things like that.
I think that's a really important message that we can highlight on. Elon Musk yesterday said that basically homelessness was a made-up word so that we didn't discuss that it was actually just criminals. And I think that's a place where like we can show the consistent disconnect between Republicans and everyday people. There are great people who have never touched an illicit substance in their life, who have lost their homes and who have wound up sleeping on the streets at no fault of their own. And Elon Musk, just in a tone-deaf way, because he wants to cut spending for all of this stuff, is playing class warfare. And I would just say to the Republicans in the room, do you want to play class warfare? Because those billionaires aren't going to give you anything. We're going to need you guys to side with us here pretty damn soon.
And when we kind of talk about how systems are violent in this country, in this passive way, our privatized healthcare system is like that for a huge amount of Americans. I mean, I did not have health insurance until I got elected to Congress. I was running, when I first ran for Congress, I had to sit in a free clinic while waiting so that I could get a blood test that I could afford, while people were canvassing and knocking doors with flyers with my name on it. Healthcare in this country has gotten to such a depraved state that people are living with things that they should never have to live with. Now, this is not to say that, and this is not to participate in that glorification, but we need to understand that extreme levels of inequality in the United States yield high degrees of social instability. And this is why this is one of the practical reasons for people who are not moved by the moral case for why everybody should have a house over their head and the ability to see a doctor. We should at least be moved by the social stability case of the fact that we cannot, continue like this. Our democracy is eroding because inequality is busting this country up at the seams. And that is what allows a fascist administration to take the pain of inequality and blame it on an immigrant or blame it on a poor person or blame it on someone that doesn't look like themselves. So, I think it's just important that people not pretend to act like they don't know where this is coming from.
It would be one thing if we spent the last couple months talking about this incoming administration. We were like, look, this is an attack on poor people. This is an attack on the middle class. This is just all they're going to do is help rich people. It would be one thing if now, after the election was lost, we were hearing daily or every other day from this administration, here's what we're going to do to help the middle class. But everything we've heard, literally every single thing we've heard so far is, here's what we're going to do for rich people. Oh, and by the way, that stuff we were saying about grocery prices coming down and gas prices coming down and housing prices coming down, we recognize and we can now admit as members of the Trump campaign, they're not coming back down. They're flat out telling you now. And so for those that were on the fence or for those with an open mind, I would just ask you, evaluate what they're saying. Evaluate what they said a month ago versus what they're saying right now. They haven't even taken office yet. They do not give a single solitary fuck about any of you. This is late, so I didn't get it on, so I'm just going to show it on my phone. But I want you I want you guys to tell me if this looks like the MAGA that you're a part of. Let me show you what happens in MAGA world currently. House and Habit, somebody I absolutely can't stand, is back at Mar-a-Lago for, I guess, a Christmas party. I just want to show you some of the stuff that was put up by House and Habit. And you tell me, oh, where is it? Did she take it down already? No way. No way. All right, well, I can at least give you some pictures from her post. All right, this is her. This was from yesterday. This is her purse. That's a MAGA purse there next to, obviously, there we are. You probably can't see it very well. Let me see if I can get it closer. Then just bougie lunches. I'm so sorry. I thought this was going to work. That's a little better. Bougie lunches there. Everybody has a dog, a lap dog as an accessory. Here we have this just looks like a country club. Who's that guy? It's just country club. Everybody's in blazers and slacks, dressed to the nines. There we go. Now we have Alina Habba coming in. We got the kiss on the cheek, the little side kiss. These people are not for the people. This is crazy. Sorry, it's not very good, but these are not people who are doing anything for you, the middle class, and they are going to continue to show you, and we're going to continue to highlight that every day. They don't want anything but all the money. Bree says, ready for you to come divide my legs and conquer this cat. I'm still working up to it. Tony says, our Niners suck and fuck Nick Bosa. They do suck, man. That game sucked. That was a terrible football game. One of the players on the Niners just like quit. He was the backup, and it was his turn. They're like, hey, could you go in? And he's like, nah. And he just went back to the locker room. He just quit in the middle of a game. Campbell, yeah, thank you. It's crazy. This dysfunction is wild. This happens though sometimes in organizations, and I blame Cam. I think can we all agree it was Cam? Is there any what's the word I'm looking for? Is it a coincidence that the guy that quit is named Campbell and Cam's name is Cam? I don't think so. I think Cam had something to do with that. Don't W Cam. We're not Wing Cam today. I've had a hard year. Here's a cool story coming out of Texas. The big story for a lot of Republicans and I don't know if this is making like national news, but on Twitter, one of the big things that they're talking about is there is a sell-off of border, what would we call it? Border supplies. The parts of a border wall that have just been sitting in Arizona, and they're selling that off at an auction now at like $5 a piece. Texas, because Texas is Texas, and because whoops, there we go. Because Texas is Texas, and they just worship Donald Trump, and they just worship this party. Texas has said, don't worry, Donald Trump. We are going to go buy those slats with money from Texas, and then we're going to donate them to you. We're going to donate them to the federal government. Meanwhile, on the same day that Texas is announcing they are going to do this, this happens. Sorry.
Retiring 5 schools does not get them to not be bankrupt. It does not. So what? We saved ourselves 2 years in
5 schools in a Texas, I think, Louisville school district are closing. Sorry.
Retiring 5 schools does not get them to not be bankrupt.
It to you. Saying he's going to build the wall. That's just a thing you guys are still hanging on to. Is Trump promising to build a wall? But Texas is going to take that money, some of that $32 billion surplus, and they're going to give a little gifty to Donald Trump, and they're not going to take care of their children.
Countless hurt.
Are you like Republicans that are here? Is there a Republican here? Are you fucking kidding? Like, are we fucking kidding about this? How are you going to tell us that this isn't fascism, that this isn't an authoritarian, that this isn't like hero worship of Donald Trump? How are you going to cut school funding and then give Donald Trump a multi-million-dollar gift? Texas is so free.
They did not represent us. They did not represent the people they elected them. And guess what? This energy, we don't give about Austin right now. We care about them not having their jobs.
It is the news so many families did not want to hear. Louisville ISD will close 5 elementary schools in an effort to save money. The school board made that controversial decision last night, despite concerns from parents. NBC 5's Alana Quillen is live at headquarters this morning to get us up to date. And Alana, it was an emotional meeting there last night.
It was because the board voted unanimously to close all 5 schools. They were telling upset parents that they had no choice to do so because the school district is in a $5 million
Thanks for the gift of
budget
Salisbury.
deficit. Now, the schools that are included in this closure include Garden Ridge, Polzer Elementary STEM Academy, Creekside, Highland Village, and B.B. Owen Elementary School. Several campuses will also be rezoned as part of the plan, which is expected to save the district about $2 million a year. Now,
$2 million. This is over $2 million. Let me move this camera a little bit. I think it's this way I need to go. That's what we're saving here. $2 million. They'll spend more than that rebuying those border supplies.
last night, a huge crowd of parents
$32 billion
wearing their school
surplus
colors filled the board meeting room, trying to speak out and protest these closures as they have been for months leading up to the vote.
I mean, just imagine being a parent of a child that's supposed to go to that school. You know that your education funding is getting cut. You know that the state's not going to do anything about it. And now what do? Now you probably have to travel further. Now you have to take more of your time. Things just got more expensive for you. Why? So that a state with a $32 billion surplus could save a couple $1 million. It's embarrassing. And this is what's happening with Republicans now. Now that you guys have given them control and you've given them a mandate, and Republican lawmakers are like, yes, the people are behind us. They're showing you that all that shit they were lying about, all that shit we told you they were lying about how they wanted to get rid of education and how they wanted to install fascism, they want to install Christian nationalism. You're seeing it, and we haven't even begun. We haven't even started this administration. They're already telling you. And one by one, we're going to pick you guys off. One by one, you're going to join our fight because this stuff is coming for you. This is hitting everyday Americans right now before Donald Trump has taken office. Before this has happened, Republicans feel like they have so much power and they have such a serious mandate that they're now doing all the shit they promised you they wouldn't do. The stuff they told you was fear-mongering, they're doing it. So just, it's fine. Like we're not gonna hate you, but wake up. Wait, you got to fight back. You got to use your voice. We got 2 years of this. For 2 years, you got to use your voice, and then we got to vote like crazy in the midterms. Toby says, did you see Elon threatening to primary GOP senators if they don't confirm Trump's cabinet picks? Also, please tongue punch my fart box, Daddy Hat Boy. Yeah, we covered that yesterday, Toby. Yeah, Elon's just out here just buying, like he's just threatening people. Like this is a billionaire, non-elected official telling elected officials, I am the fucking deep state. I have all this money. You listen to me. You do what I say. And if you don't do what I say, I, Elon Musk, a singular human being, I have so much fucking money that I can end your career. And Republicans are celebrating this. Why? Because it's all about consolidating power and installing Christian nationalism and using Trump as the patsy. Who are the people that are upset about this? Who are the people talking like this? Charlie Kirk, Peter Thiel, the Heritage Foundation, Elon Musk, J.D. Vance. All the Christian nationalists are saying this. It's only them. And generic Republicans are going, hold on a second, guy. Whoa. Hold on a second. We're not just going to confirm anybody. We got to have good picks here. We need to govern. And the rest of the Christian nationalist Republicans like, sit down, shut the fuck up, or you're done. We're primarying you. You're done. You capitulate or you're gone. And Republicans are celebrating that. Do you want to be the kind of Republican who celebrates that, or do you want to be the kind of Republican who stands up for yourself? Do you want to just be the sheep? What happened to the lions, not sheep crowd? They're just like they're just going to the lion's house one by one. Are you hungry yet? Are you hungry yet? Because you could eat me. Oh, fuck. Shit. Sorry. Play the Lisa Murkowski clip. I'm not sure what that is. If somebody has the Lisa Murkowski clip, send it to Jen, and I'll get it on. All right. Here's the other topic of the day for Republicans. Just trying to give you a heads up of what I think you're going to see today. This is from Greg Price. Let me move this. This screen is moved in a weird spot. There we go. We determined that there's a new OIG report talking about January 6th. It says we determined that of the 26, what CHS is something. What are they called again? What are CHSs called? Somebody help me. What is CHS? Something in. What is it? What is this CHS called? Somebody help me. How did I forget this? Nobody? All right, well, they're informants. Watchdog, whatever, they're informants. We determined that of the 26 informants who were in D.C. on January 26th in connection with the events on January 6th, 4 entered the Capitol during the riot, and an additional 13 entered the restricted area around the Capitol, which was a security perimeter established in preparation for the Jan 6 electoral certification, and 9 neither entered a restricted area nor entered the Capitol or otherwise engaged in illegal activity. None of the CHSs who entered the Capitol or restricted area has been prosecuted to date. The WFL did not know that a total of 26 would be in D.C. for the events because only 4 field offices had informed the WFO or the FBI headquarters that CHSs under the relevant field office's jurisdiction would be traveling to D.C. So, confidential human source. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. God, that was, who was that? Sheila Law? Thank you. These are sources. These aren't FBI agents. And what you're seeing now, like J.D. Vance, for those keeping score at home, this was labeled a dangerous conspiracy theory months ago. This is how conspiracy theories stay alive, and this is how Republicans stay ahead of conspiracy theories. They lie. The conspiracy theory was that the FBI had undercover agents who were instigating the attacks, who led the attacks, who let people into the Capitol, and that it was an FBI run psyop. These are human sources. These are people that the FBI has used for information. Many of them probably have crimes that the FBI has either overlooked or has significantly reduced so that they will be sources. None of these people were there at the direction of the FBI. They said in the OIG report, 0. The OIG concluded yesterday that the FBI did not have agents at January 6th, and the Republicans showed up today and said, see, we told you. Nothing they said happened. Nothing. There was no FBI presence that we know of. And the mere fact that this has come out and they are claiming this means FBI sources were on the ground tells you that they consistently lie. But if they do this creates an argument. And this will take most Republicans that see this are going to go, we had FBI agents on January 6th. And then we'll say, where's your evidence? And they'll say, read the OIG report. And we'll say, we read it. It doesn't say those are agents. And they're like, oh yeah, well, they're not telling the whole story. But if they had sources there, then they must have had agents. That's how this works. Don't let them play. Don't even play the game. Let's not play the game with them on this today, because this is what they're really trying to say. We were right all along. No, you weren't. This confirmed everything we thought, that this was a bunch of angry Trump supporters who stormed the Capitol. By the way, there were most of those sources that were there. The FBI didn't know they would be there. So what does that tell you? They were MAGA. They weren't doing their job as a source, and yet they were there. They are MAGA. That's all that means. This is nonsense. That's the Vice President of the United States, or incoming Vice President of the United States, lying to your face about the OIG report. Don't let Republicans do it. If you go into a live with SK, with Millie, or to Justin's live, or to Maud's live, this is what they're going to cover for the next month. Don't engage. Don't even play it with them. Don't give them the clicks. This is nonsense. They're lying. We have to learn our lesson from last time and not get stuck in this bullshit, because right now we have Republicans selling out our country to the highest bidder, and they desperately want you to talk about the FBI and January 6th. They desperately want that, because if we focus on that, we're not going to notice a bunch of these other clips I'm going to show you today about the Republicans selling us out. They're doing it in Texas. We just showed that, and they're doing it on a much larger scale. Don't fall for this shit. Don't engage with this shit. If somebody brings it up, just say, call me when one of them's an FBI agent. Just call me when one's an FBI agent. It's not worth our time. It's so transparently a lie. To anybody who reads, like to anybody who even read the thing that they posted, it's transparently a lie. I want to show you another way that this current administration is selling us out. I talked about it a little bit yesterday, and we'll talk a little more about the tower that Trump is building in Saudi Arabia. But this is Chris Murphy, who is on an absolute crusade to make sure we understand that Donald Trump is currently capitalizing off of the fact that he's going to be president. And a lot of these things that he's capitalizing on now took place because of what he did while he was president and on the way out.
After Trump left office, his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, went and did a massive deal with Saudi Arabia, in which Saudi Arabia promised billions of dollars to invest in Kushner and his properties that the Trump family benefits from. There is no doubt that this administration's policy towards the Middle East is going to be compromised by the fact that they are making money off of the very people that they're sitting across the table from and supposedly having a conversation about the interests of the United States. I mean, it's just extraordinary that we have allowed for the normalization of Trump's financial empire to be woven into the statecraft of this country. All that matters is how much money he makes, how much money his family makes, and it comes at a cost to the rest of us. We'll see really bad policy made in the Middle East because he's got unqualified people there, but more so, he's going to put his wealth and his family's wealth first, the national security of the country second. After Trump left office,
Beautiful. Where's his family? They're all getting like ambassadorships. This is turned into just a Trump family reunion. If you are within Donald Trump's family, you get a job, you get a job, you get a job, you get a job. And they're doing it because Trump just wants them to go out there and make business deals for him. That's what Jared Kushner did. It's crazy. Trump chose Jared. Jared got $2 billion from the Saudis after negotiating the Abraham Accords, which, by the way, we have oh shit, I did that thing again. Hold on one sec. Is it this one? There we go. Sorry. Jared Kushner says I'm doing this peace deal. There's no peace in the Middle East. The whole Middle East is at war. That didn't do anything. And they keep telling you it did something. Why? So you ignore the fact that Jared Kushner got $2 billion from the Saudis. Then Trump left office and the Saudis started paying him millions of dollars for Live Golf to use his course. They endorsed him. They brought in Greg Norman. Greg Norman worked directly with Donald Trump. Now Greg Norman's on his way out. And then Trump suddenly has this business deal in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is investing heavily. Like if you raise your hand if you're a UFC fan. If you're a UFC fan, you know that the UFC only made it through COVID because of business deals that have happened in the Middle East, particularly funded by the Saudis. That's why do you think Dana White's such a huge Donald Trump fan? They're all getting money. WWE too. Thank you. How come all these people in Trump's cabinet are funded by Saudis? That's the people that did 9/11. How come this whole cabinet is funded by Saudis? What's going on? Billionaires funded by Saudis who are trying to change their image and put money into whoever's pockets that can change their image. That's all this is. This is a Saudi takeover. We were worried about Russia, and we should be. You know who the Saudis are also cool with? Russia, China. This is the most obvious sellout of government that we've ever seen. Somebody said the gift goal says 0. The gift goal does say 0. We knocked it out early. Terry said, have you ever took anybody up on their messages? You get 3 answers. First 2 don't count. Have you ever took anybody up on no. And now I know what you're saying. No. I'm terrified of all of you. Ashley says, trivia question for the chat. Type your answers. What is a group of pugs called? While you're looking that up, I'll go to the next one. What is a group of pugs called? This is for the chat. Bree says, listen, I keep telling you that you can't eat me and you're moving like a grandpa. Stop being scared. Puggles, good guesses. It's called a grumble. It's called a grumble, which I love. A grumble of pugs. Imagine if you were walking and you saw a grumble of pugs running at you. It's adorable. Sal says, I'm a little meat boy for you, Daddy Lion. Eat me. I didn't get that. That took me a second. Toby said, did you see Elon threat? Oh, I read that one. Okay. Terry, did I miss another one of your comments, though? Did I read that one? Have I ever dated somebody from TikTok? Yes, but it turned out they weren't real. So, kind of a sensitive subject, Terry. Just kidding. It's not sensitive. Everybody knows. Shout out, Catfish, if you're here. You can probably maybe on an alt account or something. I don't know. Shout out though. All right, that's all of them. Maybe Terry's like the Catfish's alt account just wanted me to say that. Who catfishes me? There's been some attempts after. I've wised up a little bit. What I do is I say, Jen, is this a catfish? And I make sure Jen looks at it first. No, I'm not watching him, Jen. What were text comments? Okay, here's the Murkowski clip. I don't know anything about this. Somebody said play it, so we're going to play it, but I don't know anything about Murkowski here.
I think it's going to be hard, quite honestly. I think it's going to be hard in these next 4 years because you have an administration coming in that has had an opportunity to kind of see how things work, what didn't work, and now we've had 4 years to think about it, and the approach is going to be everybody toe the line. Everybody line up. We got you here, and if you want to survive, you better be good. Don't get on Santa's naughty list here because we will primary you. And my friend Joni Ernst, who is probably one of the more conservative, principled Republican leaders in the Senate right now, is being hung out to dry for not being good enough. And you're going to get primaried.
When she says good enough, she just means like keeping, like doing what they tell you enough.
Well, you know, what's this all about? Why are we doing this to ourselves? So I think we're getting a little bit of a preview.
Lisa Murkowski's been okay as a Republican, but like now the Republicans are telling you this is fascism. Like that's what it is. That's what fascism is, folks. The Republicans are telling you now. He's not in office yet. We already have Republicans like, yeah, maybe the Democrats were right about this. You know what must, like, I can't imagine being Kamala Harris and just watching this like, what the fuck? How did I lose? How did this happen? We told everybody. We tried our best. It's crazy. Even if say Trump does a decent job, he's still selling us out. He's still using the office to profit. And I don't, maybe it's the capitalists. Capitalists just don't care about that. But even if he did a good job, like all this stuff still matters. We shouldn't have our president be doing the bidding of other countries, even if it happened to help us. Like we should be independent of these other countries. I don't think that's that hard to convince people of. Yeah, so here was the Jeddah Towers that we were talking about, just in case you weren't here yesterday, in case you missed it. This is from Empty Will, though. I did not know this. Empty Will, you follow on Blue Sky. She's on Twitter, too, but she likes people to follow her on Blue Sky. So it's at Empty Will at bluesky.com, or .bluesky, yeah. She said this: the Jeddah Tower is not news. If you're reporting it as news, you are confessing to being asleep prior to the election when this should have been a big deal. New York Times reported it on page A7, buried behind old Joe Biden's being old stories. We missed this. Over here, we missed this. They actually did report this in July 1st, 2024. Trump Organization signs up to put its brand on a new Saudi tower. Why did we miss it? It was on page 7 because our media, was too busy saying that Joe Biden was old. And why were they so busy saying Joe Biden is old? And I think this is one of the things that we should learn from this last cycle. It's because Republicans consistently put us on our back foot. And there were enough times we just didn't say, I don't fucking care. That's actually probably what we should have done with Biden. He's old. I don't care. Yeah, I can't change that. We can't change his age. If he steps down, great. If he doesn't, not. But let's focus on other things. But like we got stuck in that, and the media showed us that, and it was just nonstop. Our media's got to be better. Our media has to show us news, and I think that there is a real thirst for people wanting news now, like real, actual news. Everybody, you had Fox News kind of take over and become this propaganda wing, and then their ratings exploded, and slowly CNN and MSNBC started to dip their toes in that same like propaganda stuff, and then they started kind of copying what Fox News did, and not to the same extent I don't think that Fox did, but they were getting there, and then nobody trusted them anymore. Because it became painfully transparent what they were doing. They were trying, CNN specifically was trying to find the middle on everything. And there's a lot of shit you just can't find a middle ground on. Like, Donald Trump is a convicted felon. What's the middle ground? What's the middle ground there? It's just true. That's just a thing that's true. He broke the law. I don't think you need to bring somebody on and be like, well, you are a convicted felon. Why should people still vote for you? Just tell the truth. He was a convicted felon. I only watch PBS. Bonuses, no commercials. Well, bad news for you, Lexi. Trump's going to try and take that. Fortunately, you're an attorney. That'll help. They want to defund PBS. All right, now some fun stuff. Jen, can we do polls still? Can we still do polls, Jen? Oh, sorry. I wasn't supposed to read something out loud. I don't know if we can still do polls. How many of you care about not those kind of polls? How many of you guys are like wrapped up in the drone sightings or the UFO sightings? How many of you guys are locked into that? No. Is this just a Republican thing? Okay, okay, that's what I thought. I didn't think this was just a Republican thing. No, couldn't care less. Not really. No. Yes. All right. Well, good. There's enough of you, so we're going to talk about it. And I want to be clear here that it's not terribly serious. I want to show a couple of things though. This was my favorite one that I saw. This is from a Twitter user named it's playing Kappa, and this video has 400,000 views. Get it together, Twitter. Stop it. I just want you to see this video that Kappa posted. This is definitely real. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's like shooting lasers now. You see that? I don't know. Does anybody know what that is? That added in? I don't know what it is. I saw that one this morning. I was like, all right, we're doing lasers now. And then this from the same user. Did you see this?
Holy cow. That thing is completely stationary shooting.
It's not. It's moving. I don't know where they're coming up with that. I don't know what that is. Is there any, outside of editing, like editing video, is there any explanation for that? Call Marjorie Taylor Greene. Hopefully it's aliens. Yeah, there's no way that's real, right? What is it? If anybody knows what that is, jump in the guest request. If any of you know how to explain that outside of video editing, let me know. You're welcome, because I have no idea. The drone, I know the drones are real, but what about those are actual tracer rounds? You want me to play it again? All right, I'll play it again. I'll try and make it. I wish I could make it a little bigger. Nope. Nope. Shouldn't have said that. It's as big as I can make it. Sorry.
Holy cow. That thing is completely stationary shooting.
All right. So if anybody has an explanation for that, send it to Jen. But let me show you this. This one also made me laugh. I don't know shit about any of this, but some people's commentary has just been making me laugh. And people want this to be true so badly that this one cracked me up. This one also 500,000 views on this one. You're looking at, if you can see my mouse here, circle. Oh, you can't see my mouse, but there's that one lone light up in the sky, like in the middle. That's what they're looking at. It's actually 2 lights, but here's what they say.
Passing each other? I've never seen that before. Wow, they just passed each other. Yeah, I've never seen that before.
They passed each other.
Are we getting taken?
Why is that? Why is that crazy? It's just the other light that you're seeing that looks like a triangle is their lens. It's those 2 lights that are just like, I don't know. That just looks like 2 things. That looks like 2 drones sitting stationary, and one went past the other. But like the commentary of they're passing each other, that got me. 500,000 views. America does not want to address reality. We do not want to talk about what's really happening, and I think that's all right. Now here's a cylinder drone. This one was crazy. I couldn't figure out what this guy's even looking at. I don't even know if this is in the sky. Cylindrical object over Virgie, Kentucky, filmed with a 100.
The hell is that thing?
50x telescope. Anybody? I don't know. I don't know what this is.
You seeing that?
Yeah, so I don't know. I know that there's been a ton of drones over New Jersey. By the way, Beth, I saw you in the request. I don't know if you were coming up to clarify any of that. I know you're not in there now, but if you do have something to say to add to this, please come back up. You're welcome. God damn. Here's Adam Kinzinger. Adam Kinzinger buzz-killed my morning. And he's going to buzzkill your morning too. But here's Adam Kinzinger explaining at least one possible explanation.
So there's all this discussion about these drones over New Jersey, and nobody knows what they are. So here's a couple things I've noticed. First off, they have green and red lights, which is exactly what's required by the FAA for navigation, and they have a strobe on them as well. So Jeff Van Drew actually posted that he said these are Iranian drones coming from some mothership, and DOD said, no, that's not the case. And some people are speculating that these may be aliens. Well, look, if it's Iran or if it's aliens, they're actually doing a really good job complying with FAA rules and laws. So my guess is this is probably some company testing some drones, and they're not required to tell everybody what they're doing as long as they're complying with the law. Another interesting point, talking about them flying over military bases.
Kinzinger's shirt's getting ripped.
There actually are no rules in flying about flying over military bases. You can fly over military bases as long as you're above a certain altitude, which these drones are. The other thing to keep in mind is everybody's kind of freaking out about these things now. So anytime they see anything that may look like a drone, and maybe it's just a helicopter or an airplane, you see these posted on social media. So I don't think we're at the edge of an alien invasion or an invasion by Iran. I'm sure at some point soon we're going to find out, and everybody's going to shake their head at what this really was.
I hope somebody clips the comments during that video. That was devastating. So, somebody said, is his shirt a tattoo? Tattoo shirt, medium, size up, my guy. 0 circulation. He can't breathe or he'll pop his shirt. These were amazing. Dude's shirt is fighting for its life. I live in Arizona, and I live pretty close to Boeing. I see drones every single day. I spend like at night when I'm researching, I go for walks, but I also spend a lot of time in my backyard because that's where I vaporize things. And I see drones all the time. It is not unusual for me to see drones. So when people say I forget what this phenomenon is called, but like when you start looking for something, you see it more. I think that's probably what's going on. But let's keep the hope alive that it is aliens. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with us saying it's probably nothing, but if it is aliens, cool, welcome. And they are. We're going to want to vet them. We're going to want to vet them. That's very important. And we got to build the fucking wall. We got to build the wall. If we don't build the wall, they're going to get in. How they're going to come right in if we don't build a wall. Yeah. Reticular activation. I don't know what that means. I have no idea what that means. Here's the White House's response to the drones. Somebody in the comments said that Northrop had a new drone. I saw that too. I forget the model of the drone. I saw that. It looks like Northrop has a new drone, and it does seem to fit what a lot of people are seeing.
I just want to add a few comments on the reports of drone activity here on the East Coast, particularly in and around New Jersey. We have no evidence at this time that the reported drone sightings pose a national security or a public safety threat, or have a foreign nexus. The Department of Homeland Security and the FBI are investigating these sightings, and they're working closely with state and local law enforcement to provide resources using numerous detection methods to better understand their origin. Using very sophisticated electronic detection technologies provided by federal authorities, we have not been able to, and neither have state or local law enforcement authorities, corroborate any of the reported visual sightings. To the contrary, upon review of available imagery, it appears that many of the reported sightings are actually manned aircraft that are being operated lawfully. The United States Coast Guard is providing support to the state of New Jersey.
Everything blue is showed as it tied up, lost all credibility.
And has confirmed that there is no evidence of any foreign-based involvement from coastal vessels. And importantly, there are no reported or confirmed drone sightings in any restricted airspace. Now, that said, we certainly take seriously the threat that can be posed by unmanned aircraft systems, which is why law enforcement and other agencies continue to support New Jersey and investigate the reports, even though they have uncovered.
How do they know what it's not if they don't know what it is? I think what he's saying is like they haven't found any credible, like they haven't been able to credibly say that this is anything else. Like every time they've, I know like the FAA and FBI, they have investigated, and so far every investigation they've been able to like explain what it was. So I think that's kind of what he's saying.
No malicious activity or intent at this particular stage.
Occam's razor.
While there is no known malicious activity occurring, the reported sightings there do, however, highlight a gap in authorities. And so we urge Congress to pass important legislation that will extend and expand existing counter-drone authorities so that we are better prepared to identify and mitigate any potential threats to airports or other critical infrastructure, and so that state and local authorities are provided all the tools that they need to respond to such threats as well.
Now, that's not fun. That's not a fun interview at all, and it kind of a buzzkill. But it is nice knowing there's like adults that are running our country who won't continue to spread conspiracy theories even if they know nothing. This is Representative Jeff Van Drew. This isn't on the outline. Sorry. I just thought of it while this was going. I don't know who's he. I think is he New Jersey? He's a New Jersey congressperson. This is him on Newsmax yesterday, though, and this is actually pretty damn wild. Jeff Van Drew, I think, is obviously spinning conspiracy theories. I think one of the issues we really have the Republicans have in your party is you elected a lot of idiots, like a lot, just so many idiots, people who were brought up through the ranks and they are bootlickers and they follow the line, and their sources are just like people that they trust. There's no reason for them to trust those sources. They just trust them. Burloff Sky, thank you so much for the gifted subs. Appreciate it. So this is on Newsmax pressing. What did I say his name was? Drew, Congressman Drew, on a claim he's made that he has credible information that an Iranian warship is off the coast and sending in drones. Which, by the way, this isn't Paul Revere. We would know. We have satellites. Those things up. Those are satellites, and we have images, and we have planes, and there wouldn't be an Iranian ship off the coast that we didn't know about. Like. He's like, one if by land and two if by sea. Let us know if the Iranians make it. and he's got somebody staged down at the Jersey Shore, like with a horse ready to go. It's Pauly D. He's like, I'm ready. Yeah, we have cameras, dude. It's weird for you to say this knowing that technology exists, but we're going to hear him anyways.
It does sound like you are doubling down on that based on a source that you say is credible. So you still stick by your comments that you believe, according to your source, that there is a ship off the coast of the United States, Iranian ship? Or, am I reading that right?
Let me be clear.
Please.
Oh, please.
I am confident that my source is giving us a real possibility. Could it be something else? Absolutely. It could be China. Or could it be something else?
But why? Where's the ship? Somebody show us the ship. The question isn't like, are you sure it's Iran? It's where's the ship? That's the question that we're asking right now. Where is it?
That nobody within a month now, we have no idea what it is, has described or knows. So consider how crazy that is.
That's just a drone. I don't know what to tell anybody. That's just a regular ass drone right there. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's clearly got like the 4 propellers. It's got a light on each. That's just a regular damn drone. Newsmax is just like, we're going to scare the people. One of the things that's been interesting watching these stories is that it'll be like news coverage. It'll be like, there's been a whole Phoenix. This happened in Phoenix, actually. On our local news, they're like these 4 unidentified objects over the Phoenix skyline. I see it every night. It's planes on busy nights waiting in line, and they move very slowly and in a line, and they're like try to be equidistant apart, right? And our news in Phoenix was like, nobody can figure this out, and pilots were just like, yeah, no, that's us. We do that every night. But it's another one of those, like, people don't always look up into the sky. In fact, most people probably don't. So when you hear that there's stuff in the sky, and then you look up in the sky, and you're like, I don't know how to explain that, that you're going to get a lot of these reports. I had to circle for a half hour in the sky once with 6 other planes. Yeah, it happens all the time.
It's all going on around us. We don't know what it is. And the FBI was at the hearing said, we don't know if it's dangerous or not. We really can't say. But they don't know.
Yeah, I've got to leave it right. I've got to leave it right there. Again, the Pentagon has denied that. The New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy has denied that as well. Again, it does sound like you are doubling down on that.
But that's what you get in Republican Congress. And actually, I'm starting to kind of understand Republicans a little more when they vote. Like, on our side of the aisle, at least most of us, we just want our government to go in, and we want them to legislate. And it's better for us if we never hear anything about them. If we're not hearing stories coming out regularly and legislation's getting done, that's best case scenario for us. But the entire Republican ideology is just like a pipe dream of something that they believe could happen, right? That they believe that eventually trickle-down economics is going to work, that eventually tax cuts are going to work, and it never does work. And so, because they don't want to focus on the dumb shit that they've been running on for 50 straight years that nobody believes anymore, they've just become like an entertainment wing. And so, if you want to get elected as a Republican, be entertaining. It doesn't really matter if you tell the truth. Be out there. Say stuff that the average public is saying, because then they're gonna be like, holy shit, I've been thinking this all along, and now people in the government are repeating. They get briefed. They understand all this stuff. They work for No, there's just dumb people there. There's just dumb people. That's why none of this stuff gets confirmed. But that's like, I kind of get it. Yeah, the National Enquirer Party. Yeah, that's a good, yeah, or just the New York Post party. Jumar, in reference to the drone that looked like it was shooting stuff, has solved the riddle. Jumar says that was just me shooting out baby gravy while suspended in the air. That's some Harry Potter shit. That's really good, Jumar. Also, excellent velocity on your expulsions. That's terrific. Everybody, W Jumar there. Let's give Jumar a W in the chat there. All right. What was next? All right. That's all I have on drones. Is there anything else I need to cover on drones? Is there any videos on drones I missed? Some people just said no. No, Jumar. God damn it, Boston George. Now you got... God damn it. You were doing so good, Tex. You were doing so good. Don't do that text. I'm just going to give you a hint. Like, if you think a joke works in a Republican circle, don't, because you changed the spelling, bud. You know what you did. Don't do that. Be better. Be better than that. Just don't do the identity politics stuff, especially coming from your side of the aisle. Nobody trusts you yet. So I'll pay to fully ban text again. Oh, maybe we do. Yeah. Maybe we do a text ban. We'll see. I'll let Jen be in charge of that. All right. Oh, I forgot the best part. This was the best part of the whole thing. Have I mentioned before that I hate Patrick Bet-David? I hate his face. I hate his podcast. I hate his studio. I hate the way that he talks. There's not one. I don't find anything redeeming about Patrick Bet-David other than my dream is to go on Patrick Bet-David's podcast. That's my dream. I just want to sit there and ask Patrick Bet-David questions like, hey, have you ever heard something and not tried to turn it into an analogy regarding business? And he'd be like, well, back when I was in business, when I was running my MLM, and he would just tell me another story and relate it to business, even if his example didn't make any sense. He's doing. I mean, look at his background. We got a Future Looks Bright 24, make future something again. We got a MAGA hat there. Choose wisely. Yeah, we've really turned this into a MAGA set. But listen to him freak the fuck out about these drones right now. And keep in mind, I want to set this. This man has done 60 podcasts, 70 podcasts, 80, maybe 100. That he has taken time out of the podcast to talk about how the government used scare tactics with COVID, and that we shouldn't have been afraid of COVID, even though it was killing people, right? Even though people were dying from COVID, he has taken that dumb Republican stance like that, bro. Well, I'm tougher than COVID. I ain't no bitch. Like, he's taken that stance a million times. So imagine my surprise when he freaks out about drones that are hurting nobody. And I can't tell you how unwarranted this amount of outrage is for a bunch of videos that he has seen on TV that have hurt nobody.
Very annoying. Security is your number one job as a man and a husband and a father. Security is your number one job as the FBI director, the president. The current president is Biden. VP Kamala. That's your job, to protect me, you, us, our families.
He's yelling. He's so, like, for what?
You're not doing it. What the hell are you waiting for? It's a basic phone call. 2 hours.
Okay. Listen, you cannot guess what he's about to say on this basic phone call. Anybody want to guess? Anybody want to guess? That's terrible. His solution to that, first of all, the problem doesn't exist. Nobody's being hurt by these drones. Nobody at all. And he starts off with, as a man, it's your job to protect. I think that's actually the job of the police. I don't know if that's our job. But yeah, with your family, I guess you're going to protect. Who do you think he's talking? Who's this phone call to? Who do you think? Stephanie, you're a single mom? Sorry. Okay. Sorry. You should have married a conservative. You are not protected. Single moms are just not. You're just not. And that's on you. All right. Yeah, listen. This is the tough guy, like alpha male bullshit. This is like, I'm just gonna tell. It's like some Andrew Tate level alpha male bullshit from like a 60-year-old dude who ran an MLM and doesn't know a single solitary thing about politics. Listen to him tell you how he would solve this problem.
Hours, call every head of state. What the fuck is going on here? Is this you? Because I'm shooting this shit down. And I swear to God, if I find out it's you, it's over. Do you understand me? You think I'm playing with you? We're not. What do you want to do?
Who the fuck are you yelling at? You're just calling heads of states like, is this you? And the heads of states would be like, bro, this is Australia. Who is this? Who is this? Is what me? Look at these pictures. I'm going to send you a video. Is this you? No, that looks like a drone. That's a drone. Have you not seen a drone before?
It's ours. Take the shit down right now. Out. And whatever you have, give me every single file. And if you don't, public scrutiny and 200, 300% of tariff coming. You
What
don't
was that?
public out. And whatever you have, give me every single file. And if you don't, public scrutiny and 200, 300% of tariff coming your way and sanctions on your country for 1 year. I swear to God, the fear of death is coming your way. Closest thing to it.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid. I don't like this. He's fired up about literally nothing. And you know why he's fired up about nothing? Because there's nothing good coming out of MAGA right now. They're not going to cover any of the shit that Donald Trump's saying. Take it down and give me all the files. Sir, it's not ours. That's just a regular ass drone. I want the files. We don't have any files, sir. And then what was this sentence there again? Let's see.
Out. And whatever you have, give me every single file. And if you don't, public scrutiny and 200, 300% of tariff coming your way.
And if you don't, public scrutiny and 200, 300% tariff. Ooh. Where'd he go? To Trump University to learn how to do business? That is moronic. He's so pleased. Look how pleased he is with himself when he's done too. And notice every other host, even as ridiculous as this whole podcast is 100% of the time, nobody wants any part of this. Nobody jumps in. Nobody makes eye contact with him. They're just like, Jesus Christ.
And sanctions on your country for 1 year. I swear to God, the fear of death is coming your way. Closest thing to it.
I think he meant the fear of God.
This is like... Anyways, let's go to the next story. Frickin' very annoying to me. People in Jersey, average day-to-day families, you want kids to walk? You want me to have my kids go to school?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm worried about what's going to happen with these things? Are you out of your freaking mind? Are you out of...
Is he keeping his kids out of school now? The send your kids to school even though they might die of COVID crowd is now saying, I'm not sending my kids to school when there's drones in the sky?
Your mind in two of our most special states in America, Jersey and New York, how rich are those people, personalities that come out of those places?
In two of our most, how rich are the personalities of those people? Like, this is one of the biggest news sources for right wingers. I don't know. This was from TikTok, so I don't have their viewers. This has 227,000 views from Patrick Bet David on Twitter. He's not that big on Twitter. He's pretty big on YouTube. I don't even know. Like, this is just outrage farming. They're bad at it, man. They're good. Republicans are good when they're the victim. But now they're trying to figure out ways that they're the victim, and somehow they're the victim of a weaponized government who's just not telling them about drones. And our government's definitely just like, by the way, do you think Joe Biden and our federal government's just like, what, you said there were Iranian drones? Nah, I don't care about that. Like, they would just ignore it and not do anything about it. All right, now I want to go to Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel was interviewed by, what's his stupid name? Piers Morgan. Peter Thiel, if you don't know, he's one of the founders of PayPal, early investor in Facebook. He's made a lot of really, really good bets. He's kind of, he's the mentor to JD Vance. He's a mentor to Elon Musk. He went on with Piers Morgan, and he's asked about, I thought it was a good question by Piers here. Let me give you the question by Piers.
And to those who think this shooter is a hero because he did it because he said this healthcare executive was presiding over a healthcare system which kills thousands of Americans by denying them cover, what would you say to them?
Okay, good question. Second follow-up question, what the fuck's going on with Peter Thiel's face? For anybody who does skincare, can somebody explain it? Can somebody explain that face to me? What's going on? He does youth blood transfusion. Like, what's going on with that face? It looks like, I mean, I'm just saying, like, that's not normal skin. It looks like he just did a chemical. Yeah, thank you, a chemical pill. But he looks like that all the time. All right, so the question is, what do you say to those people who feel like, they're getting screwed? Piers Morgan from England, he's like, basically people are getting screwed. They don't have health insurance or it's too expensive. Peter Thiel, what's your take on this? Peter Thiel is pulling a lot of the strings right now. This is one of the people in charge of our country right now. This is one of the oligarchs that Trump is handing power over to. And let's just hear if Peter Thiel has a good way to connect with the average American.
it's I don't know what to say. I think I still think you should try to make an argument, and I think this is you should, there may be things wrong with our healthcare system, but you have to make an argument, and you have to try to find a way to convince people and change it by that. And this is not going to work.
Pete,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, there are all sorts of things one could say about it, but
yeah, like some of the things you could say is, oh, I understand that people are pissed off because they don't have affordable health care insurance because these private insurance companies can just cut off the care and then they lose family members. You could say something like that, but what you chose to say is, I just think instead of having emotions, you need to make a better argument. It is these people, these billionaires that run around with Peter Thiel and Elon Musk. I don't think this has any any racial connotations, so please correct me because I've used some bad verbiage before. They are fucking mutants. They're like legitimately mutants. These are they don't operate, they don't live in the same world that we live in. And every time they get put into a position with just like a normal person, it is transparently obvious how bizarre these people are and how out of touch with our reality they are. They have no understanding of what it's like to be one of us. None whatsoever. He couldn't even, in all that amount of time he was silent, he couldn't even come up with an empathetic statement, not even a sympathetic statement. He's just like, well, the real problem is you guys don't have, you need a better argument. Okay. This is the out of touch. These are the out of touch people that are being put into the administration. And Tex, I hope you're still here because I want you to see this guy doesn't give a shit about you either. None of these people that are in charge, and by God, he's in charge. Peter Thiel is pulling a lot of strings. Does not care.
I don't think.
Good. I'm glad you know that.
Again, I think I think the motives feel. I don't want to go into all the particulars here, but I don't think there's anything heroic about him.
He got a little courage, and then he backed away when he said, "The motives here. What are the motives, Peter? To kill private health insurance? You're goddamn right. That's the motive. You are goddamn right. That's our motive. We don't want it anymore. It's shitty. People die. It doesn't work. It's too expensive." And that was Peter. There was the glimpse inside of these billionaires and these people in Congress on the Republican side. Every last one of them is siding with the private insurance carriers. Every one of them. Even the ones that figure out a way to say like, oh, I understand this must, I can have some empathy towards families, or maybe I had a family member, and then they're not going to do anything because they believe that capitalism is the answer and that it's infallible. And the problem with this wholesale belief with capitalism is if you buy into an ideology like that, like you're not allowed, you can't address reality. You've already decided that capitalism is the answer to everything. So no matter what happens, you have to say capitalism is not the answer. No matter what, that capitalism is the answer. Capitalism is the fix. Capitalism is not the problem. Because you've already decided that it by itself wins. You can make this same argument for somebody who says socialism. You can make the same argument for somebody who says they want communism. You can't. There's too many moving parts. There's too many people. There's too many industries. Like all of them are flawed, which is why we have these debates. But if you start the debate from, I will not move one step off of capitalism, I will not allow any checks against capitalism, this is what you wind up with. A billionaire here who it recognizes hundreds of thousands of people die every year due to lack of healthcare coverage. And he's like, you know what they're really trying to do? They're really just trying to end the private insurance agencies. And to Peter Thiel, I would say, find your courage, because you're right. And now come up with a better argument. Isn't that the advice from Peter Thiel? Come up with a better argument. Give us a better reason to support private healthcare companies. Yeah, I guess right now I don't know of any. Capitalists. Let's hear what you guys have to say about these private healthcare companies. Late stage capitalism. Exactly. Then weirdly, like pivots. Remember how we like these billionaires, and I think we're about 6 months away from Joe Rogan joining too. But these billionaires are weirdly also Christian nationalists. I've never figured out if they actually believe or they just know that Christianity is something that can be weaponized against Christians, unassuming Christians. Because then Peter Thiel, who is a gay man, attacks atheism. Ironically, not a gay man in California, by the way, where Christians across this country donated millions of dollars to fight against his ability to get married. And he decides to go on this weird attack on atheism.
You know, modern atheism has collapsed to where they believe in neither. They believe in neither science
which is so
nor
depressing.
religion. Right?
Not true. Atheists and fellow atheists, I would consider myself an atheist. Fellow atheists in the chat, do we not believe in science? We don't believe in science? Is that true?
I think I'm actually signed up for I'm signed up for a cryonics policy. But yeah, look, I think the way I would relate it to Christian.
Yeah, most of us only believe in science. Thank you. Yeah. That's what we do. We like science because science gives us concrete answers. If you're like me, the scariest thing to you is ideology. The scariest thing is belief. We don't want to be like tied to a belief where we ignore reality.
Christianity is that perhaps there is no rational way to think about one's mortality, and so if you are an atheist who believes this is the only life you have and then it will be over. The way you deal with it is not rationally by thinking about it. If you think about it, you will go insane.
Right.
No, you won't. I've actually thought about it. Had this conversation with a friend yesterday. Here's what I think. I am a human being, and I am made up of molecules, and everything else is made up of molecules. I'm reminded of, Jen, if you want to, can you find... what is his name? There's a comedian that does a joke about molecules. See if you can find it. Just type comedian joke about molecules. I forget his name. If anybody knows his name, help him out. I'm made up of molecules, and at some point I will die. And at some point I will die, and I will go into the ground, and I will live on. Every part of us goes back into the earth. We do live on, and we live on in a different form. And eventually, we may be consumed by a different animal, and that different animal might give us what did Jumar call him? Jumar called him baby gravy. One day we might be part Pete Holmes. Thank you, Jen. It's Pete Holmes. Maybe we'll become a part of baby gravy again, and we'll live on. That's what I believe, and because I believe that, I don't go crazy. A Christian's ability to understand an atheism is severely limited by their fear of death. If you don't believe in a heaven, you believe this is your chance. This is it. And as for Peter Thiel, it must be incredibly difficult to balance who he is with his beliefs. One, obviously, we touched on like his sexuality goes against his beliefs, but two, like the very nature of him existing goes against his beliefs. Like they say consistently in the Bible that, if you're rich, you're probably not going to heaven. It's easier for a camel to fit through the eye of a needle. I don't know if you guys have seen a camel before. You can't fit a camel through the eye of a needle. So that if they just changed it, it would say it's impossible for a rich person to go to heaven. The balance here, the people who struggle, the people who deny reality are the ones who live openly in defiance of their own religious beliefs and then try and figure out a way to go through life to make their beliefs and who they actually are and what they actually do and merge them together. And that requires ignoring a lot of stuff. That requires ignoring a lot of stuff that's in the Bible. It requires ignoring a lot of the teachings of Jesus. For somebody like Peter Thiel to continue to be a Christian and live that, it's probably really, really difficult for you. And you're projecting your difficulties living your corrupt life onto us atheists who just say, we live here for a brief moment in time. In the grand scheme of things, we are nothing. And I think that is a I think it's a freeing thought when you realize that you are essentially a small part, a tiny blip in the radar, and you get to dictate what your existence is, and it doesn't really matter to almost everybody else in the world what you do with your existence. It's really between you. Most people that have ever existed won't know who you are and won't give a shit, and you will not be remembered. And I think that's hard for a lot of people because we find so much meaning in our own lives, and we want to find meaning in our own lives. But the reality is, scientifically, which he says we don't believe in, scientifically, it's pretty obvious where we came from. It's absolutely obvious where we're going. And I think that these billionaires are just afraid of confronting reality. You've spent your whole life building your wealth off of the backs of other people's labor. And everything, in order to get to those positions, you have done things that are strictly against your beliefs and implicitly against your beliefs. So if I were you, I would want to believe in a world after this world where I wasn't such a fuck up too. I would want to believe in a world that I got to, that money didn't exist so that I couldn't be tempted by money. I would want that too. If I was living my life, which I used to do, in open defiance of my own beliefs, and I can tell you from experience, it's exactly what I believed. It's exactly what I believed. It's exactly what we were taught. It's okay if you make mistakes here because Jesus is forgiving. Well, some of these mistakes are allowing your companies to use slave labor. Some of those are healthcare companies just letting people die, and then they show up to their meeting with a blinged out Laura Ingraham crucifix down their neck, and they're like, "Look, I'm very, very Christian." No, you're fucking not, and it's painfully obvious to anybody who doesn't believe that you aren't the same Christians as the Christians that we have in the chat here right now. You're not the same. You're not like them. You're not a Christian. You're just somebody who uses that so that you can feel better about your shitty decisions to take advantage of people your entire life and win the game of capitalism. I will just say this. It's also a good glimpse into the fact these people aren't that bright. Making money in this world, winning capitalism requires that you don't have ethics, and that you are, in their case, that you connect yourself with another network of people that have high worth, and you get to control and dictate things, and you get to manipulate things. The reason these investors get lucky once, after fucking up forever, they get lucky once, and then all of a sudden they're great investors, is because the whole system's corrupt. That system, once you get to that level of wealth, the whole system is corrupted. And it's really almost impossible for you to lose your wealth, because if you make a massive investment and it fails, our government's going to bail you out. So I think Americans are waking up to the fact that we've moved far past the era where there was just small gaps between the classes of people. We now have Peter Thiel people. We now have Elon Musk saying, we're going to Mars. Do I have enough money to end world hunger? Absolutely. Am I going to do it? No, I'm going to build a fucking rocket and go to Mars.
You deal with it by avoiding it, by not thinking about it.
Yes.
And then this sort of psychological avoidance mechanism, one of the things
he's just talking about him ignoring the fact that he is a hypocrite. This is just, again, these are his thoughts, so this is a view into his mind. He is projecting his feelings on others.
Results in is you don't even do the science anymore. At some point, it's like to actually work really hard on the science. Yeah, rationally, you're correct. You should be working on the science in order to live forever. But you'd have to think about your death too much to work on the science, and that would disturb you so much. So I think the
Let's see, Peter Thiel, billionaire, is he working on making people live forever? Or is this maybe his own thoughts? I'm telling you, for many of us atheists, and I'm not going to speak for everybody, I was terrified of death when I was Mormon. Doesn't scare me anymore, because it's just coming. It's just eventually it's gonna happen, and I don't know when. And I have if I don't take matters into my own hands, I have no control over that. This is just a glimpse into his mind, and he's saying, what are we doing with our money? we don't want to confront death. What are we? Are we trying to live forever? No. We're trying to get more money. This is just a look into what a billionaire thinks about. Hold on, got to get the puzzle piece. If there's anybody here that works on for TikTok, can you just ask them why I have to do that puzzle piece every time?
The atheists are not even able to work on the science anymore.
It's mostly atheists that work in science. I don't in the scientific community. Most of the people I know in the scientific community are indeed atheists. In fact, it's far more tricky to be like a devout Christian and be in the scientific world because so many of the teachings from the Bible are at odds with modern science. Okay, and then just to link this into Elon, this is as dumb as you think. Elon made a trailer. These guys are. I remember when I was in high school, we had a radio class. Like you could take radio. I had a radio show, but it was also media, and so that was the first time we ever learned how to like edit videos. And I was really into sports, and we would have these projects. And what me and my friends would do every single time is we would make some sort of sports video, and we would make like a highlight film, and that was our project. We'd do like because we would just play like dunk ball on an 8-foot rim. And we would just celebrate ourselves. Cool when you're in junior high. A lot less cool when you're an unelected bureaucrat advocating cutting all spending to poor people. But Elon Musk and his friends, because they're so out of touch, made a trailer for their committee, and it is as ludicrous as you would think.
Our nation was founded on the basic idea that the people we elect run the government. That isn't how America functions today. Most legal edicts aren't laws enacted by Congress, but rules and regulations promulgated by unelected bureaucrats.
If irony there, this is an ad for unelected bureaucrats.
Tens of thousands of them each year. The entrenched and ever-growing bureaucracy represents an existential threat to our republic, and politicians have abetted it for too long. That's why Doge is doing things differently. Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy are entrepreneurs, not politicians.
Vivek just got done running for president. He's a politician. What the hell are you talking about? Vivek, the only reason we know who Vivek is because Vivek is a politician. Nobody knew who the fuck that guy was a year and a half ago. He's definitely a politician, but...
They will serve as outside volunteers, not federal officials or employees. Unlike government,
they'll serve as unelected bureaucrats. The first half of this trailer is these unelected bureaucrats are ruining us. Behold, unelected bureaucrats.
Government commissions or advisory committees, they won't just write reports or cut ribbons. They'll cut costs. They will liberate individuals and businesses from illicit regulations never passed by Congress, stimulate the U.S. economy, and generate prosperity for the American people. Now is the moment to deliver a government that would make our founders proud. Now is the moment for decisive action. Now is the moment for Doge.
The dumbest shit you've ever seen in your life. But they're just rich. And I don't think that plays well with the Republicans. I think we are in the midst of Republicans. Look, Tex is here. Tex is apologizing. I think they see it. I think all of them see what's happening right in front of them right now, except for like the MAGA extreme loyalists. Everybody else sees it. Yeah, look, I'm not telling anybody to like Tex, but just look at this outside of your own emotions. Republicans are scared. Republicans are nervous. Republicans are seeing the same thing we're seeing, and Republicans are hurting the same way we are. So yeah, not too late. Don't be the it's too late. Don't be the it's too late people. It's never too late. It is never too late for people to join our side. Never. Oh, that's what you're saying. Oh, I see what you're saying, Jen. Thanks. All right, here's the other clip I was telling you about, just in case you haven't seen it. I hope I don't get hit for this. This is one of my favorite. Oh, did that not work? Oh yeah, here it is. This is Pete. Pete has a great show too. I think it's called the Pete Holmes Show, maybe.
Nothing makes fucking sense.
Let's see. Can I make that bigger?
Life makes no sense. You're on a planet right now. You think you're in America? Zoom out. You're on a space rock floating in nothingness, infinite nothingness, and the infinite nothingness is expanding. That means endlessness is getting bigger. That makes no fucking sense. We all just act like it's normal. Like, oh, everything's made of molecules. Okay. Got it. I'll never think about that again. I'm made of molecules, you're made of molecules, the air between us, it's all made of molecules. That makes no fucking sense. These molecules know they're molecules. These molecules are like, I'm Pete. That doesn't make any sense. Nothing makes
Gasper. I just want to see that because I definitely did steal that we're all made of molecules from Pete. That's what I was thinking of when I played that. What time is it? 12:30. Friendly Friday starts in 30 minutes. Is that right? All right. Let's see. I need more. All right. So, Republicans, if we're here, if you don't think you're being sold out, I want to show you legitimately. This is the scariest video I've seen so far. I apologize for playing Chris Hayes because I think Chris Hayes is really smart but really boring. This is a 6-minute video, and I apologize for the length, but I think Chris Hayes maybe gives better context than I possibly could. Republicans right now are openly bragging about giving Donald Trump gifts, crypto gifts. Listen to what they are planning on doing. Remember, these are we need to cut the deficit people. Listen to what Republicans are planning now.
For very understandable reasons, Democrats and Democratic regulators have worked hard to keep crypto, which has been supremely volatile, blocked off from the rest of financial systems, so that if it crashes, it doesn't bring the entire U.S. economy down with it, requiring a bailout. Some rich people holding a lot of crypto disagree with that strategy. They want a bailout, implicit or explicit, if the house of cards comes crashing down. To that end, after Republicans took back the Senate with the help of money from the crypto industry, they now have a plan to return the favor. And I want you to listen to this part because no one's really talking about this, but the elements of the plot are just there in plain sight. Senate Republicans are working on a bill that would transfer billions and billions of dollars of money from the U.S. government, from taxpayers, and hand it over to a handful of big crypto holders.
We got a president for President Donald Trump.
Let's let that sink in. That's how this was presented. Dear leader, we have a gift for you. We know you've got a crypto coin. We know that you and your friends are heavily invested in crypto. It's so good to have you back. We've got a present for you. Sorry.
And hand it over to a handful of big crypto holders.
We got a president for President Donald Trump. Here it is. This is the Bitcoin Reserve Bill in the Senate of the United States to establish a Bitcoin Strategic Reserve, a network of secure storage vaults, purchase program, and other programs to ensure the transparent management of Bitcoin holdings of the federal government.
She has, by the way, before Chris Hayes goes, she has no idea what she's reading. None. She has no comprehension in what she was just given a paper and say, read this. Read this and tell him it's a gift to Trump. She has no clue what she just said.
Yes, the Bitcoin Act from Republican Senator Cynthia Lummis of Wyoming, it would establish a Federal Reserve of Bitcoin. It's truly one of the most audacious schemes I've ever seen in Congress. Here's why. Rich folks who own a lot of crypto have a problem, right? Cryptocurrency, Bitcoin in particular, is a very valuable asset. Single Bitcoin worth over 100 grand. Some very, very wealthy people own hundreds of millions or even billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. David Sachs, for instance, has a lot of crypto. That said, it's not a liquid asset like cash that you can easily spend or invest or use for practical purposes. It has no practical use really outside of a few gimmicks, and it's very useful for criminal cartels. So if you're an investor, you're sitting on this speculative asset You can't actually do anything with it, but it's worth a lot of money. What's more, if you try to sell it all off, right, to get rid of it, the hordes of Bitcoin on the exchanges, that's going to flood the market and tank the price. So what's the solution? They're going to sell it to the U.S. government.
Over 5 years, the United States will assemble 1 million Bitcoin, 5% of the world's supply, and it will be held for a minimum of 20 years and can be used for one purpose: reduce our debt.
Reduce our debt? You can't pay the debt down in Bitcoin. Are you tracking this?
Just want to show you real quick. This is the price of Bitcoin over the last 5 years. It has, it's obviously definitely gone up. But what do you think happens to our country in these dips when we go from the price of Bitcoin being at, or I guess this is the market. Is this the market cap? I think that's market cap. Yeah. At 8 million, and then we drop down to 2 million. What do you think happens to our economy if we 5% of Bitcoin we own? It's one of the most unstable assets you could possibly own, and they're advocating that we now make this a new Federal Reserve for this. By the way, you know what could happen? Let's say our federal government says, what did she say? She said it was 100 bit. How many bit? 5%, whatever that is. Let's say it's $20 billion, and they buy $20 billion worth of Bitcoin. And that skyrockets the price of Bitcoin. And then all these Bitcoin holders sell. And it plummets. It's the risk. This is an insanely risky bet. We are talking about gambling. We're in debt. This is the equivalent of you not being able to pay your mortgage. You have credit card debt. You have medical debt. And you're like, you know what? I'm going to open a new credit card. Got a $5,000 limit. I'm going to the casino. That's what we're doing here.
Are you tracking what's being planned and announced in person here, right? The U.S. government handing billions of dollars into the pockets of rich crypto holders? The plan is that the Bitcoin Act would have the government sell off some of its gold reserves, you know, the stuff from Fort Knox, and use the money to buy 1 billion Bitcoin. At current market value, that would cost $100 billion.
By the way, also selling off gold is going to tank the price of gold. So all the people in America and all the Fox News viewers and all the Newsmax viewers and all the OAN viewers and all the people who've been grifted by Donald Trump for the last 9 years, who've been told, buy gold, buy gold, buy gold, it's recession proof, we would tank the price of gold. Everyday Americans who have been told by Fox News for 30 years to buy gold, they saw their investment go up, it would tank the price of gold. Why? So we can increase the price of crypto.
Now, the actual price would likely be much higher because that market value would almost certainly rise as a result when a new buyer enters the market and boosts the price of the asset the buyer is now legally obligated to buy. This is an enormous heist. They're just backing the truck up to the government in front of all of us. A massive bailout to the crypto world. The opportunity to turn a speculative asset into real cash on your dime. And presumably David Sachs, as the crypto czar, will help usher that plan through. And there is a real irony here. For a long time, as long as I've been covering crypto, which is over a decade, advocates have sold cryptos as liberty.
You said the Saudis are loving this. Yeah, they are. You know who holds a lot of crypto? The Saudis. What about these foreign crypto holders? What about places like the Saudis? What about a country? Who was the country that switched over to Bitcoin? Was it like Bolivia or something? Who was the country that there was like this big thing that they were going to switch to crypto? Does anybody remember what country that was? Was it Venezuela? Why did I think it wasn't Venezuela? It was Venezuela? El Salvador. That sounds right. I think maybe El Salvador. I don't think it was. Yeah, okay. I think it was El Salvador. I think you're right about that. What do you think happens? What if it skyrockets? And El Salvador is just like, oh, we'll sell. We'll sell because all of a sudden the price of Bitcoin skyrockets. El Salvador sells, drops the price of Bitcoin again. Do we see what's going on? Like this is a gift to Russia. This is a gift to China. This is a gift to the Saudis, and it's a gift to all the billionaires who bought Donald Trump a fucking seat. Folks, We didn't know this was coming. This is new. They kept this shit under wraps, but they are planning on using a government that's already in debt and putting trillions of dollars into crypto to benefit not only their friends, but our foreign enemies all across the world. The Saudis, the Chinese, the Iranians, the Russians, the Canadians. Just kidding. Sorry, Canada. That's what they're doing. Why? And it doesn't matter because to these billionaires, it doesn't matter. They can go somewhere else and be a billionaire. Like if the whole economy of the United States tanks, fine, they'll buy it back up. Billionaires, rich people, they want crashes. They need crashes. They need the federal government to bail them out of bad investments. And this is what they've cooked up. They've cooked up a pump and dump scheme that Donald Trump is too goddamn dumb to see coming. And because he owns the Republican Party and you're not allowed to stand up against anything that he says, they're all going to sit back and sell the American economy to crypto bros. The crypto bros are being handed our economy. The dumbest among us, the dumbest people in our country are going to be filthy fucking rich and be in charge. And millions will suffer. Millions.
Carrying project, right? We don't need government. We don't need banks. We don't need financial intermediaries. We don't need regulation. Here's Sachs himself making that point on a podcast 2 years ago.
There is a huge risk of currency debasement when the government is in control, and particularly when you have the world's reserve currency. There's just such an enormous temptation to print money to finance your budget and to rack up loans that become unpayable. What Bitcoin offers is a different kind of currency where it's not backed by a government, it's backed by math, it's backed by encryption. And so you don't have to trust the government.
All of that lofty rhetoric goes right out the window, though, when Republicans decide they want the government to initiate a massive upward transfer of wealth and bail out the crypto industry.
Isn't it interesting that they never talked about this on the campaign trail? And now all of a sudden, remember there was an interview with, I don't think it was Matt Schlapp. I think it was Russ Voigt, when he said, like, Project 2025, like, there's the part that you've seen, but there's 3 other parts that you haven't seen. And we're not going to show you guys those, but they're part of the plan. I think that's what we're seeing now. Look at all this stuff the Trump administration is doing. None of you voted for this. They didn't tell you any of this. This wasn't part of anything. They told you they were going to lower food prices. They're not. They said they were going to lower gas prices. They're not. They're going to say they were going to say they make housing more affordable. They're not. They said they were going to make healthcare more affordable. They're not. They said they were going to rescue the middle class. They're not. That everything we were afraid they would be, they're worse. We can't even as liberals grandstand and be like, we told you, because we didn't even know this was coming. We didn't even know this shit. They hid all of this, but every single thing that Donald Trump told you on the campaign trail was a lie. Every single thing. They got you all worked up. Those of you who are bigoted towards trans people, they worked you up over that. They worked you up over the fact that we had COVID and that the government, that we're going to have these forced lockdowns. They tried to demonize only the rich on our side, the Bill Gates. They tried to tie those people all to child predators. Meanwhile, the real child predators are actually in this administration. Like, we got absolutely duped by rhetoric, Republicans. You all got duped, and they lied. You don't have an argument for it anymore. It's in front of your face. The question is, now's the time. I accused all of you of being cucks for Trump. If you're not, it's probably a good time to stand up, because if not, you're just going to watch the wholesale garage sale of our country, and you won't get shit from it. They don't care about you. You will get nothing. All you will be there for is cheerleading the rich getting richer. So we got to do something. It's time to do something. I see equal vote there. Equal vote, welcome. Why does that ring a bell? Hey, what's up?
Hey, Arch. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'll give you a little vignette of a story here related to Bitcoin and what's the other one?
Ethereum?
Ethereum, yeah.
Yeah.
So back in the 2018 timeframe, you had these like money platforms like PayPal and Venmo, and then Coinbase that's actually an exchange, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
They were kind of giving away, $5 or $15 worth of free crypto. Try to get people into the market. So I took those offers up. This has all happened in 2018. Coinbase was giving away $15, and then the other two, PayPal and Venmo, were giving away $5.
Mm-hmm.
Well, after almost 7 years of investment, guess how much my Bitcoin and Ethereum is worth?
I mean, you've probably 100x'd it at least, right?
No, sir, no. Dude, I'm here to tell you that the Bitcoin is worth under $4, each of them. Like one's like 342, one's like 367, and then the $15 is worth a whopping $13.82. I've taken no action on that. It's sat for 5 years. Oh, I'm sorry,
How
almost
did that
7
happen?
years. You need to tell me because I have no idea. There's no fees.
Wait, what? So
I'm here to tell you,
you're
it's
saying
worth-
you were given Bitcoin and it hasn't increased in value?
It has decreased, and until this year, it was at 70. It was at 30%
What
of
year
its
did you
original
get it?
value.
What year did you get it?
2018.
Oh, okay. So you had the dip, but you still should be you still should be above. I mean, in 2018,
No.
2018 Bitcoin.
Mighty generous offer.
Huh? That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I think I had to go back and look at my $15 position that Coinbase provided, but those two $5 positions and I got for each one of them, one of them was Bitcoin, and to be fair, one of them is Ethereum.
Was it maybe Bitcoin Cash instead of Bitcoin?
No, it was straight up Bitcoin.
Because the price of Bitcoin was 11,000 ish in 2018, and the price of Bitcoin is 100,000 now. It doesn't make sense that it wouldn't be way up.
Yeah. Let me see if I can just confirm. Hold on.
That's bizarre.
I mean, but you understand, like before this year, it was like a good solid, like 30% of its original value.
I'm just telling you, like that doesn't make that makes almost no sense. Like it shot up in 2021, and then it dropped back down to 17,000, and now it's at 100. Like it should have been above what it was valued most of the time you've had it. It's bizarre.
Hold on, I'm going to apologize. The $15 instance of Bitcoin is now 36. So that is
okay. Yeah, so it did go up. Okay, that makes more sense. Perfect.
But the Venmo $5. Let me take a look.
Well, did Venmo like have a coin or something? Like 99% of coins that have ever been minted are just trash, and they're worth nothing. Bitcoin and Ethereum, and there's a few others that have like continued to rise, but it's mostly Bitcoin and Ethereum. The rest of it is mostly scams.
I do apologize. I didn't look at this I thought I looked at it when it was hit 100K. It's actually looks like the total return since inception is now 52%. So I've gained a whopping $2.91 on my $5 investment.
Yeah, there you go.
So I don't know. It's the idea that we're going to potentially risk the U.S. economy with anything other than what treasuries and I'd be happier if we invested in U.S. companies, like invest in ourselves than.
Or what if we just paid to end hunger? What if we just
What's that?
What if we just paid to end hunger and the unhoused? It's a fraction of what they're saying we want to spend on Bitcoin. We could end hunger. We could everybody could be housed. We could probably cover health insurance for years, maybe a decade. Like there's so many things we could do with that money, and they're like Republicans have been convinced to invest it in a pump and dump scheme. It's crazy.
there are millions of homes that could fit the bill. Like there's no additional input required. There are literally millions of homes sitting in the market right now. No one's there. Nobody's living there.
Yeah, and instead we're going to
We
do a
could
pump and
literally
dump scheme. Yeah.
It's just. And then the other one I want to talk about is I want to make sure I understand, because I think there's a lot of stuff out there in these social media sites about. I know that we had a situation where the Trump administration had deregulated the ability for investment companies to come in and buy residential homes like immediately, right? Versus having to wait 90 days.
Yeah, something like that. I think it was 90 days.
So the question I have is that who are the perpetrators, right? So there's mutual fund companies that are out there, like the BlackRocks, for example, that apparently now I know that those companies own real estate investment trusts to support their funds that they offer, like their products.
Right.
But does BlackRock have like an investment arm that is truly purchasing residential homes and holding them for investment?
Yep.
Is that true of all the other big companies?
I don't know if it's true of all of them, but it's true. I mean, any major investment firm saw that opportunity. Anybody who was good at what they did, they saw that. I mean, but that's the other thing. Like if we crash the housing market, if the housing market crashes, all of those places they're gonna go belly up unless we bail them out, which I think we will, because a lot of those people are donating to specifically Republicans and friendly Democrats.
I just hope we have the clout to fight that.
Yeah.
As Americans, like if the voices are loud enough with our Congress people, our senators or Congress people, because that can't happen again. Like
it
that
might get wild. It might have to get wild.
We often talk about, Obama did, about the lost decade, which we, by the way, had in 2008. From 2008 to 2018, a lot of us who were saving for retirement lost a solid 60 to 65% of our nest egg.
Yeah.
Because of that crash. And nobody else suffered, right? Just the regular Americans just trying to get by, save for retirement. The banks were all bailed out. Like, we cannot have that scenario again.
Yeah.
For me, anyway. I'm speaking personally. I can't live with. So I can't live with another 10 years to save for retirement. I'm too close.
Yeah. Yeah. We got to get. This is something that I think that we can probably find agreement with across the aisle here. So I'm looking forward to that.
And as a result, I've had to sort of lock in some of those gains to make sure that whatever this new administration has planned doesn't impact my retirement. My hope only, the other problem is, even if you were to go to quote unquote safe investments that are covered by the FDIC, I saw that they're looking to potentially severely impact their input. Like, right there, aren't they talking about like eliminating the FDIC or?
I don't know. I haven't heard that they were planning on eliminating the FDIC. It could be. If they are saying that, I haven't heard that.
If anybody can add credence, I've heard a couple of scenarios where it's been discussed by Trump and some of the folks he's picked for his admin. So I'm going to be looking into that.
All right. Yeah. Let me know. It's fine. DM me.
Thanks, RTV.
Right. Yep. Thanks, brother. We'll see you. I think it's about Friendly Friday time. Let me read some messages while Jen is editing something. Mark says, sorry, I was slow on the comments today, guys. Mark says, MAGA are always selling and never rely on substance. The left must sell more. Yeah, I agree with that. And I think I think we're being handed a pretty good platform to sell people on. Allie said, never apologize for your length, boo. Thank you, Allie. Appreciate that. Cameron says, I know you're quick, but can you go multiple rounds? Or are you more of a one and done type of guy asking for a friend named Bree? Not only am I quick, but I also don't have endurance. So sorry about that. It's just a real disappointing situation over and over. Sal says, I wish you'd uncover your drone and circle up inside me. I don't even know what that means, but sounds like a good Saturday night. I think I got them all. All right, Jen. Are you here? Oh, Jen's not here. She's just editing things. We're ready for Friendly Friday. Let's do it. Jen, you coming up? Hopefully I fixed the format here. There you go. Gotcha. Hey, Jen.
I can't let myself in the box.
You can't what?
But I can't let myself. Well, I can if on my other account, but I didn't have that one up.
You also could do it because you can control my. Are you still controlling my computer or no?
Well, you were moving things. It's fine. Let's see. If other moms want to fill up the box, that works.
Were you just adjusting it because it was cut off or something?
Yeah, your face was cut off.
Oh, I see.
And now we gotta move the. We gotta do. Hold on.
I got it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about the look.
It's different.
God damn it! I was moving something. Now it's gone. You just.
I didn't
moved
touch it.
Yeah, you moved the mouse.
I didn't touch that.
I know. I was moving
didn't.
it.
Whatever.
We're fighting. It's all right. We can just. I'll just expand this. We'll just make this one a little bigger.
I was saying choose a different layout so that people.
I can't choose. I can't change the layout when there's guests. We'll just do that.
Fine.
Sorry.
All right. Do you want to let
Who's first?
Positively.
Positively. Welcome. Happy Friendly Friday.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Nice to be here.
It's wonderful to have you.
It's actually my birthday today.
Happy birthday.
Yay. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I just was.
Oops.
I've really been appreciating your mood and your focus on what we can do, and not as much focused on, I don't know.
Bullshit.
There's definitely some where we're just bullshit.
Yeah.
And just like, because I mean, we can sit here and hate on them and think that they're bad people and all that stuff, but that's not going to make any meaningful change.
Yeah.
And I want to figure out how we can make meaningful change, where we can find things in common, how we can enroll them in stopping the worst of what they have planned. I think if we don't do that, that they can do some really bad things and things that they don't want either. Like, to me, it's the blind loyalty and the just like, oh, we're Republicans, whatever they say we do, and they just move forward with that. So
yeah, I agree. Well, happy birthday.
Yeah.
What are you doing for your birthday?
Not a lot planned, just family dinner and just kind of
Sizzler?
enjoy. It's actually I'm leaving that up to my husband and kids to figure out. But yeah, we got a nice snowstorm and
Ew.
so we got some snow on the ground, which is nice. I know, but I love it. So
well, happy
It
birthday.
sounds like a contradiction. A nice snowstorm.
Yeah, I'm with Jen on this one.
That's you in Arizona.
That's
me
right.
in Oregon. So, all right.
Well, happy birthday. I
Thank you
hope
so
it's
much for all you
wonderful.
do. Yeah.
We'll see you.
Yeah. All right. Bye.
But
Jen,
in fairness, I do. I love rain.
Jen, are these going in order? Oh, they do. Marlene, welcome.
Hey, you remembered my name.
Finally, after how many months?
I think it's close to a year, but that's
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's about right.
I would just want to say I love the new format. I think it's really it's been very informational and less confrontational, which I really like. It's more positive and less knocking people down, and I really like the fact that there are things that we can be aware of and that we can do. So
thank you.
Way to go.
Thanks.
The only other thing I have to say is I noticed, or I heard somebody ask you who was president the last time the Niners won the Super Bowl, and you sadly had to say Clinton.
Yeah.
As a Bears fan, I even more sadly have to say Reagan.
Oh, that was the Super Bowl shuffle team. That's tough. Yeah.
It was the Super Bowl shuffle.